The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. You were just saying 15 members or whatever. I met a guy who owns this pub in town. And he has a band, and he was like, yeah, we got 35 members. And I'm like, whoa,
what?
And he was like, well, I guess the whole premise is they're all in other projects. So whenever someone can't make a gig, or if, you know what I mean, whatever part of the rotation can't show up, someone else will. So I'm like, that's cool.
That's the whole population of the town that Brian lives in.
Yeah, it's 3,500 people here.
What town are you in, bro?
I'm in Hatfield. Hatfield, Mass. Just north of Northampton.
Yeah, okay. Now, who sent me the record? I appreciate that, by the way.
Probably Aaron would be my guess.
From Feeding Hills?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of the band is that area besides me.
Okay, yeah. So are you guys a super group? Are you all in other projects? I was trying to, when we talked about you guys, right, that time, and I was trying to figure it out. And then, cause I was just trying to I'm like, how does this work? We're going to go over a lot about ska punk. Cause I honestly, if you heard me, I don't typically gravitate towards that stuff. But when I do, it's really good. What you guys do. So, but yeah. So are you guys are you all in other projects too, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Lich King. That's my thrash metal band that I've been in for.
We've talked about you too.
That's wild. That's wild.
That you guys rip too.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll talk about that.
There's all the Lich King records. Yeah. Yeah, I've been in Lich King since 2009, I think at this point. But yeah, I joined PWRUP 2018.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
You guys had all played a handful of shows together and basically written the EP before I was part of it. But Jeff and I had played together in another band called Spark Eater. Just melodic hardcore punk rock. But then I reached out to Jeff. I'm like, dude, I miss playing with you. And then he's like, you should join PWRUP. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I heard Power, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to be in this band immediately.
Yeah, I think you were just I got you got Lich King, you got all these other things, the studio, etc. And then you were at a show, and I was like, what do you think? You're like, yeah, I'm in.
Pretty immediate.
Yeah, I wouldn't maybe call us a super group. We've all just been friends. We've just been playing in bands forever. So this is my only project and main project at the moment. So all the eggs are in this basket. Yeah.
One of the things was I think it was whatever. I think we were reviewing Just Devils. I believe I could be wrong. But we were talking, and you guys had special guests on the record too, right? And then that brought a question up with me is hey, is that a thing in the ska punk world? Because I've seen it before, right? And it's usually that's where I'll see it, featuring this person or featuring that person, and is that kind of no? It's not a.
I mean, I've seen it a lot in the modern metal or like metalcore world.
True.
I've seen that where it's like guest vocalist from XYZ band.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I have seen it. I have seen it in some ska punk bands, but probably not to the extent that we did on the record. Like, I think we had like a guest on, like half the songs on the record to some extent, and even then we had, Chris Adente playing keyboards on like half of it. And we had Eric doing horns on, a good chunk of the record too. Eric
Yeah.
from formerly of Voodoo and currently of
Mutiny.
Mutiny. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. They're sick.
you
Check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I recall, it was just like we wanted to get all our friends part of this. Like most of us are friends. I guess Aaron, Justin, and I, we went to high school together back in the day. And the previous bass player, Gary, who wrote a lot of the album and was the original bass player, I went to high school with him too and played with him since basically I was, 14 or 15 years old. And then enter Brian, and then we just kind of had a bunch of guests. And then, those guests showed some of their friends, and they're like, yeah, I want to play on this, like Eric, and which was awesome because we were all a big fan of his bands, and that just kind of blew us away. We're like, yep, he gets it. And then, yeah, that's kind of just how that went down. It was like have our friends come in, and then just more people joined in, and yeah, we just want to collaborate with all our buddies and people, like-minded people. So
That's got to be like a huge compliment, right? To have all these people that are like, "Hey, can we, you know what I mean? Can we get down on this one too?" Like that's awesome. I think that's great. I think from looking at things I'm always talking about like community and how the music community out here in New England has always been kind of special, and like maybe I'm a homer because I grew up in New England, but like but like I remember seeing it, right? And I remember seeing it back when I'm an old man, so like back when I was 18, 19 years old, I saw it, and then like I see it now, and it's like it's just I think it's a unique thing. I don't think because I've talked to bands where the music community is really good wherever they are, but like I just think there's something special about like New England, and maybe it's because we're such a I don't know like a blue collar kind of area. Like a lot of people just think it's like like foliage and fucking lobster rolls and shit. Like they forget there's like a like a big working class here too who keeps all that shit going for them, right? Like I have a buddy who I remember when we were in our 20s, he was from Lubec, Maine. You want to talk about like no one, a small population. And like the only job he could get, if you weren't rich there, like you were poor, right? Like poor. And like the only job he could get was picking periwinkles off the beach in the middle of the winter. And this is like a stone toss from like Canada, right? And like and you get paid by the 5-gallon bucket. So like people don't realize is that part of New England too, So but yeah, so I think
yeah, it's pretty diverse New England, yeah. And I think we can kind of all see a similar, see each other in one another. So that especially the music scene, especially when our age, it's like, who's left, and even the young folks coming up, like we love it. We love bringing new bands in to play, and I work with teenagers, so I like hearing what they got going on, and yeah, it's really cool. Just community, like you said.
yeah,
not competition, just community. Yeah.
How long has Power Up been a thing?
Like I want to say 2017, 2018, somewhere around there.
And these were all people like you knew everybody. Like you said, you were friends with people and just like, hey, let's start this like huge thing. And like,
yeah, pretty much like we all separated after high school, then like college years and young adult life. And then everyone just kind of came back to Western Mass more or less. And yeah, we just jammed a few times and, fast forward X amount of years and here we are. So
hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you guys recently revamp your Bandcamp? Because like I went on Bandcamp and I found you guys, but there was nothing there. But when I went to your link that you have that was there, it was like a photo of you guys and just the name. But then I went to the link, the powerup.band, and then I had a link to the Bandcamp, and then I had it again. So I don't know if it was something like a user error on my end, which very well could be what happened here, but like I don't know. And then like because I was trying to find to make sure that this was the record, but but like because you guys had vinyl before, but you don't now on there, right?
That we might be like running low on it, so I don't. Yeah,
Because I think we made everything available for free on Bandcamp,
Yeah,
right? Is
well,
that
that was the
still
other thing.
going
Now it's
on?
like it's all
Yeah.
free, and I was like, wait, this is definitely the same band because I was listening to it, right? I'm like, this is the same album. Like so you guys kind of like, just kind of like just put everything out there for free download. That's pretty cool, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
might
for
as well.
sure.
You know, like these days, you're either gonna stream something or you're gonna download it illegally. So just yeah, cut out the middleman and just give it away. You know.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
And if
I
people,
mean,
and if people want to support, they'll buy a record or buy a shirt or whatever. Like it's,
for sure, yeah, yeah. That's everyone. I had a band on last night, and they were talking about like, they designed these shirts, and like he's like, we see people all the time with them on, and we don't even know if they know who we are. Like it was a cool shirt. You know what I mean? It was like they might just think it's some like, like spooky looking thing that. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Now, so did you guys put the record out yourselves?
no, we did the record came out. Ska Punk International put the record out.
Cool. I mean, it's badass, right? Like it's got like it's an awesome. What do they call that? A gatefold, like kind of.
Yeah, triple gatefold with the
Yeah.
that was something. We had the cool artwork, and we wanted to push for having that. If we're gonna do the big vinyl pressing and all that, like the whole part of the cool part of the vinyl is having the sick artwork. So, and we had the concept, so we wanted to do it right.
And I think at the time when we did the episode and had you guys like we included your this album on there, like I think like you were sold out of every pressing. You had a couple different pressings.
We had three. Yeah, it was like three variants, and like I think we're pretty low on all of them. Like I think we did a run of was it like 250, 300 somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was
And
300.
we're down to like 10s or 20s of each at this point. So
That's
we're-
awesome, dude.
yeah.
Like so I have a record club, right? I have a subscription service that I run, and like like it's small. There's like 20, 25 it floats between like 25 and 30 members, right? And like I'm like, being able to go to a band and like who has 250 records and probably sold 5, right? Because they just aren't putting themselves out there or whatever. For whatever reason, it's tough. It's tough. You guys are artists, not salesmen, right? So you really so it's like it's tough to do that. So like when I can do that and like people are like, "Oh, that's so great," and like but like man, cuz like we saw all the different colors that you guys had, and like the one I got's awesome. It's like I don't know. It's like a darker color, like with like a kind of like a weird edged background or edged around the thing, and like it's awesome. I got it in the mail like just the other day too, and I just opened it.
Cool. Is it like a brown color?
Yeah, like a brown, like almost like a brown copperish kind of, right?
What do we call that one? Satan Swirly.
Yeah, something like that. There
there
was
you
one
go.
brown because we kind of have like this running bit, like our root beer addiction in the band. So I always looked at that as like, root beer. Like it was like brown with like the foam on the top, and
hell yeah.
yeah.
What's your favorite root beer? What's the band's favorite root beer?
Man,
I think I mean,
like
what do I get? Sometimes I'll
mix?
buy like IBC. I think Barks is Aaron's. Aaron's the root beer guy.
I'm also a Barks fan. Yeah.
Isn't Barks like the only one that has caffeine in it?
That's that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean,
like Barks has bite.
Got the
but-
secret.
I'm a terrible caffeine addict. Case in point, I'm drinking a fucking Mountain Dew at it's 7:00 at night. But
That's all right. I usually have coffee. I finished a coffee like probably about 10 minutes before this. So
yeah,
I had one.
I gotta
too,
get back
so,
and drinking tea.
Yeah.
well, tea's got a lot. Well, I don't know if tea's got more than soda, but it's got
No, but
definitely has
I
like
specifically
black
buy tea that's like extra caffeinated.
right. That's good.
Just
Yeah,
cut out
I mean-
the tea, just straight caffeine.
Straight,
yeah. You just take the pills, right? Like the caffeine pills, just like break them
Oh
open.
God. Yeah, no, those days are gone for me. I need sleep.
So Bart's a good one, and IBC is another one. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the one that we dabble with. Yeah.
When I was in when I was in high school, which was a million years ago, and I don't think anyone's alive anymore that was around then. But like, I would mix Captain Morgan's spiced rum with Barks root beer
Ooh,
because
Ooh,
because
there
you
you
wouldn't
go.
taste the rum. Like it was dangerous. It was brutally dangerous. Like,
Yeah, that sounds like a high school mix. Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever had the Not Your Father's root beer? They make like alcoholic root beers, which are
I've
pretty
heard
solid.
of it. Yeah, I think I've
They're
heard
all right.
of it. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
a root beer probably like a year ago, and my job, like where I was working, like they have like they have like the glass bottle ones. I think it might have been IBC, and I was like, I haven't had a root beer. I don't drink soda, so like it's like once a year I'll like I'm just like, well, let me get a soda or something. So I went with a root beer, and it was like delicious. I'm like, man, I forgot.
Yeah. I don't do soda either, but I had one maybe like a year or two ago too, and I'm like, oh man, this is too good.
You know, you can't beat a root beer float, man. Oh, that's
the
so
best.
good.
Yeah.
Vanilla. Yeah.
All right, so are we're looking at let's see, 2, 4, 7 members. You guys have 7 members.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the photo on the Bandcamp.
I gotta count myself at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got 7.
Yeah.
I've got 5 siblings, and I had to get all of their birthdays tattooed on me so I would remember. Like I have them all like I don't know, like they're like, you see them?
Well, smart, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one, and I should still do that. Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's so awesome, and I was like, yeah, it's because I don't fucking remember any of your birthdays.
Yeah,
and I
your
don't even
body's the
remember when they're
calendar.
there. It's usually like by the end of the day or the next day when I'm like, oh fuck, you know. So
Yeah, when you wear long sleeves, you're like, sorry, you know, it's
Yeah.
wintertime. I forgot your birthday because I can't
Right.
see it. You got
Yeah.
a sleeve on. Yeah.
They're all fall, and then my brother's like spring right after me. So that's like that's the only way I can really remember. But you're right. Yeah,
You're in the season, you know.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so
It's fine.
So who did like the artwork of Just Devils? Like who does do you guys pick someone? Like you have a specific artist that always does it, or?
No, so for the album, it was it Michael Bracco he's Baltimore. He's an artist down there. Yeah, so we kind of had the concept, and as far as I recall, just kind of like looking at art through social media, and then hit him up, and yeah, hit it out of the park. We had an idea. I mean, I don't draw or paint or anything like that. So it was awesome to work with like a legit artist. So we had ideas, and then he would just kind of bounce stuff back, and we're like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, amazing. He did the hoodies, which was really cool. And then he did a t-shirt design for us too, which was great.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
legit. He's awesome. Yeah, it was great to work with.
I mean, so do you guys play a lot of shows every year, or?
Oh, we've been trying. I think this is probably the most shows we've played in any given year so far. Like, you know, and you know, the first time we've done a legitimate tour of more than a weekend run. So,
When was the
we-
tour? When did you do the tour?
so we did an East Coast tour down to Fest in Gainesville, end of October. What do we play? Like 5 shows on the way down, something like that. It was like we did
Something like
Monday
that. Started in
It was like a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we were at Fest all weekend, and we played Fest on Saturday.
How was that? How was playing Fest?
Dude, dream come true, man. Like
incredible.
I've been wanting to go to Fest for, you know, almost 20 years at this point. You know, since my college days, since I first heard about it. Because that's like my, you know, the street punk, skate punk. That's my melodic hardcore. That's my shit.
Same. Yeah.
So, you know, that's always been like a bucket list to even go to. And then to get invited to play that and like, you know, on a super cool stage was, you know, fucking incredible. So
yeah, it was the first year for Village Depot, and they hit it out of the park. It was great. It was awesome. And yeah, like ska punk stage, first time doing it, and yeah, it was awesome. I didn't know what to expect. You know, new stage. We've never done East Coast in general. You know, we've never been that far south, and yeah, crowd reception was awesome. Yeah, it was mind blown. You know, I didn't know what to expect, and it far exceeded anything that I would have thought that people show up, because we were playing against like Get Up Kids or something like that.
Yeah, I think
so. It's like, yeah, all right, you know, it is whatever. So, but yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
We had a ton of friends playing the Fest, and they all came out for our set too, which is
Yeah, a lot of New England bands.
special.
So that was awesome to have the local support of our friends. That was really special.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So like I went to Pooza Fest this year for like it was my first. So like I hadn't been. I went to a fest like a million years ago, and I was like, this is like not the fest, but like a fest, and I was like, it was all one day. You're in this field. Like I felt like I was in high school drinking out in a field. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna something bad's about to happen, kind of thing, and like. So like I kind of shied away from those, and I like smaller shows anyway. But when I went to Pooza, and like my buddy was like, this is how Fest is too. Like it's like all these different venues and you can just like float around. The hardest part was trying to figure out who I was gonna go see. Like, so like I'll end up like catching like a half a set and then I would go to see somebody else. And like that was the hardest part was making decisions, which isn't really that big of a you know what I mean? Like in the hindsight of things, that's not that bad, right?
Yeah,
That
good
was
problem to
very-
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was very, very much the vibe of Fest Gainesville, because like, yeah, it's like I think it was like 20 venues over downtown Gainesville, and like yeah, you take a walk downtown, you go to try to pop into as many as you can, but they're all like a lot of them are like small DIY pop up kind of spots. Like, the place we played was just it was a courtyard. It was like an outdoor courtyard attached to a dispensary, basically. And so they just had a little back outdoor stage, tent over the stage, that sort of thing, and it was basically up for the weekend and gone after that.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, like, how, like, from like, I don't know, like, so you guys sold a lot. You guys have sold a lot of records, like like we were saying, like, especially for like an independent band that's out there, right? Or at least I think you have. But like, so like, what's your like marketing approach for that? Do you guys have one, or like, is it just like people just heard your band and they keep saying, hey, go buy this, and people are picking it up, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's a funny thing, because we were actually kind of talking about that in the band chat today. Is like we don't really have a marketing approach. It's just like, try to keep playing cool shows with cool bands, and kind of organically network that way, and keep finding good opportunities. Like, the past 2 years we've been asked to play a whole bunch of festivals, and that's definitely got us in front of new people,
right.
which is great. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
that's really it. There hasn't been any like, traditional marketing or ad campaigns or any of that shit. Just like put out a record and play a bunch of shows behind it,
Yeah.
And I think like for us, like upon the conception of the band was like, let's write music we like the stuff we want to listen to. If other people like it, great. So it's awesome that people like it. And it was like, if like we used to practice in my basement and now we're over at Aaron's, but it was like, hey, we got out of the basement. That was like the goal.
Hell yeah.
Being 30s and like approaching 40. And yeah, the reception's been incredible. And, credit to like Aaron for really, doing the local thing and in social media. Like he's great with the social media. I don't even have social media. So I'm like, I just remove myself. I'm just an old man, farting around in a garden pretty much all summer. But yeah, no, he's great where, he's really, and Justin was on it too. And it's just responding. And like to Brian's point, it's, book shows, play with other bands and just, get to know people and just kind of dive into the scene. And yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, Aaron and Justin have definitely been the ones that have most like connected with like the ska community on Twitter and Discord and all that. So
For sure,
100%. That's
yeah.
definitely. I'm not gonna discount that at all. That's definitely been
that's a huge part of it
thing
with them. So
yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't even consider that's not even just like marketing. That's more just like that's back to the community aspect. It's like it's a lot of friends, a lot of friends in other bands, just like keep staying connected with them and trying to find good opportunities to play shows together, and good things come out of that.
Right on. Yeah. So I don't know. So Aaron runs the social media. So like when we had the clips, like they were the one that was putting them up and stuff like that. Or
Jeff, you do a lot of the reels though, right? You're
yeah, so I kind of dabble with like video editing. So I have like a lot of GoPros. I bought a whole bunch of them, and I'll set them up when it makes sense for the show. Like if we got a tight schedule, I don't want to throw off the show schedule. But yeah, certain shows I'll just throw them up around the room and edit video. So yeah, a lot of the reels I'll do that. I do it's a lot of work, and I just don't have the time that I would like to. But when I do have the time, I'll make videos and try to be weird or funny and not take it too seriously and just have fun. Try to bring joy to people and ourselves. Like if it's an inside joke, just let it fly and hey, whatever.
I think one of the best things I like about doing the roundtable show with the two other guys, right, is like because like when I we can kind of cut loose a little bit, right, and like we've gotten into the habit now of like because we have every month we do like an X Factor where we each bring like a like we're like all right this month like last for December it was like socks or stockings, right, but we all brought something and then we put it to social media and let them vote and that won. And so like we come up with like little stupid antics like in between the breaks. I'm like, hold on to your socks, we'll be right back, stupid shit like that. And like but like it's a lot of fun, and I think it adds a like when you're able to just like kind of have fun with everything, you know what I mean? Like I'm a outside of like the podcast and shit, I'm a pretty quiet guy. I'm pretty fucking like, everyone always thinks I'm mad just because of the way I look, like, cause I'm just like stone faced half the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's tough, but, like but doing the podcast and like doing that stuff and having fun, like with doing the episodes and shit like that is always like, I think it's good, man. Cause like we're only here for a certain amount of time. You can't take yourself too serious, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. 100%.
Jeff, you know what I was just laughing about, right? The Feliz Navidad.
Exactly. I was just going to bring that up. Like we're kind of a band. We love, comedy and just like making each other laugh as friends, like just try to have fun. And, so at shows, I mean, it's not like done on purpose per se. Like we don't decide any of that stuff. So Justin, like, we'll do bits and just, make each other laugh. And if sometimes the crowd is like, I get it. Sometimes they're not, but we have fun with it. So that's kind of the thing. And Brian, if you want to, since you brought up Feliz Navidad, I'll let you kind of take the reins on it.
Generally speaking, there are points in the set where like we do stupid antics, or like I'll look over at Jeff like when I do a dumb drum fill, or like there's this one drum fill I've been doing lately that every time I do it, I'm just like trying to make it more absurd. And Aaron looks over at me. He's like, no, stop. But yeah, so the Feliz Navidad, we played a Christmas show, this past weekend. And, so we wanted to do a cover of Feliz Navidad. So the original idea was like, all right, do the cover, we'll arrange it. We'll play it in like a bunch of different styles, whatever. And then, I regret doing this, but I said, what if instead of playing Feliz Navidad one time, we played Feliz Navidad between every song in the set? And we'll throw out goofy ideas like this all the time at practice. And for whatever reason, everybody was like, yeah, let's do that. I'm like, oh, fuck. God damn it. So we played Feliz Navidad 7. We played basically one verse and one chorus of it 7 times.
That's awesome.
Throughout the course of the set in a variety of styles. And
just different genres. Like they had a practice without me. I couldn't make it for work or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, Jeff, by the way, we're going to do Feliz Navidad, like arrange it. So I came up with an arrangement where like every verse was like a different style, like ska, reggae, like a disco thing, like hardcore, whatever. And then Brian, the genius that Brian is, he's like, actually, let's do like in between each song as a joke. And we're like, all right, we're definitely doing that. And it was crazy. And even at the show, like in between a song, I think we were just like having a water break, like a 2-second, and then the crowd starting singing it before we could even get into it, because they're like, we know what's happening.
We know the joke. We know what you're doing.
We're like, well, we're not going to stop. So
that's great though. Like I love when like there's interaction like that between the crowd and you know what I mean, the people on stage. And like so like I mean I remember going to like back when the Dropkick Murphys were playing small venues and like people would come up on stage and sing with them, you know what I mean, like, and like just that kind of interaction is just so awesome. And like for them to be in on the joke, like they and I'm sure like they're smart enough, like they got it probably right away, right after the second time or whatever. So that's pretty wild. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's
pretty fun.
That kind of interaction, and that keeps it engaging too, right? Like that's kind of why we switched to like, hey, instead of us picking like this X Factor thing, let's let people vote on it, right? So, and then it just because like I don't know, it just again it goes back to that community thing, right? So, where was the show at this holiday show?
I was at the Marigold Theater in East Hampton. It was a 413 ska put on. It was like a full day ska show, like 10 bands. Mephistopheles
Yeah, pretty
headlined.
close.
Yeah,
Nice,
pretty
nice.
cool.
So what's it like out in like that western part of the state? Because like there's like Springfield, but then there's like the western part, right? There's like the real western part, right? Where
Well,
like,
props for you knowing what Springfield's part of Western Mass. Like people are like, "Oh, Worcester."
Yeah.
No. Hold on a second. They're
no,
like
man,
Worcester, and then there's the Berkshires, and then like where Brian and I live in the band, like
Yeah.
that doesn't exist for most people.
Right. No, I floated around all that part where with work and stuff. So like I know, like, I kind of got an idea where things like when I saw Feeding Hills, I'm like, oh, I know where that is. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
yeah. So like kind of like what is it like out there? And like, do you guys gravitate to a specific like city at all or anything, or you just kind of bounce around?
I mean, so I grew up. I was born and raised in Greenfield. So I was always more the northwest area of Mass, I guess. Like when I was a kid, I didn't really travel further south than Northampton ever. But yeah, I like the small town New England out in the boonies. I grew up out in the woods, so like I went to college in Lowell for 4 years, and then had the dreams of living in the city and doing audio work out there, and then came back home and did an internship after college, and I was just like, I don't want to be in a city. Fuck that. I want to be, and then just kind of ended up making a home in Western Mass and getting being part of the community out here. And I was like, I can't go anywhere else.
I mean, Greenfield, you guys have like the big like there's a big festival there every year too, right?
Green River Fest. Yep.
Yeah.
I do sound for one of the stages there.
My buddies in Girth Control, I think, played.
Oh
there.
yeah, okay, we know.
Those are our homies. Shout out Girth Control.
Yeah,
Girth Control.
They're
those are
one
our
of like the
buds.
5 like ska punk bands that I've had on the podcast.
Best. We love playing with those guys. Like
God.
it is a treat. We love playing with them. Like they're one of my favorites. So
I think
they're
we have
great.
very, very similar. Like we love a good bit. We love a good joke. Like let's we definitely get along in that aspect.
Yeah. So to show you that I know Western Mass a little bit, okay.
right.
I know a town pretty well called Turner Falls.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
I used to
Nice.
deliver out there. It was the longest like route we would ever have. And I'm like, and then the snow was terrible. It was awful. Like it was, but I know that area.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Like you go down Route 2, it's just like after you get, I don't want to talk shit about Fitchburg and shit, but like but what
you can.
I mean is,
we'll
like,
allow it.
We'll allow it. Yeah.
you get past that, it's just like nature, right? It's like it's more woods. And
Yeah.
it's like, and there's awesome waterfalls out there and stuff like that. So I know that area a little bit from doing that stuff. But
Turner's Falls was the rival of Greenfield High School.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They're like right there, right?
Yeah, and I used to take that drive down Route 2 from Greenfield to Lowell, like 20, 30 times a year when I was in college. So
there was another
your festival's not that far from Turner's, right?
yeah. RPM is in Montague. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. How do you say that? I never knew how to say that.
Montague.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, I'm learning things here, man. I'm learning things.
Yeah,
That's what we do. We're
Turner's Falls is
educational
actually
band.
Yeah, Montague is like the city, and Turner's Falls is actually a village of Montague. So yeah, same thing.
What's out there? The Pioneer Valley, is that out that way too?
Yep, that's all part of the Pioneer Valley.
Yeah, I know.
You know your stuff.
You got it.
I know a musician who he loves that. He'll go out there and play solo shows all the time at like these little bars like that. They're just like along the way, I guess. You know what I mean? So, no, it's cool, man. It's cool that there's stuff out there too, right? Because I grew up in a smaller town, but like it was like a touristy town, and like there wasn't a whole lot of like original bands. Like there was some, but like it was mostly like cover bands because people wanted, people on vacation want to hear the hits and shit like that. You know what I mean? So
Of course, yeah.
But like where I live, so I grew up in Rhode Island, and where I lived, like I gravitated more towards like the Boston, like Providence and then Boston scene, as opposed to like some guys went to like the Connecticut, New York kind of thing, because we were like smack dab in the middle of Boston and New York. So, Yeah, it was like so it was cool. It was cool. I liked that I grew up in a smaller town. I like living in a smaller town. I just hated living in that town, you know.
Yeah, growing up, I mean, living in a small town, you're kind of in a bubble, so you don't really, especially pre-social media, almost pre-internet, to kind of age myself. I mean, it was internet, but not like it is today. That 56K modem that took 20 minutes, or when your parents picked up the phone,
14.4,
you
baby. I remember
disconnect.
Yeah.
But like,
14.4.
yeah, exactly. One of the cool thing, like this area, I mean, there like hardcore was huge. Ska-core was a big thing. We talked about it on other podcasts, the Ska-core scene around here, which is why we kind of have a little bit harder edge, because all the bands like, again, shout out Scarred Me of Darkness, like they're back. They're our buds, which is awesome. I really looked up to them, and they like half that band was at our show over the weekend, which was really cool. So it's been cool to really get to know them as adults, because I was in high school, and I'm like, oh, these guys are great. But and even metalcore around here. I know Brian can kind of touch to that, where there's a studio, 20 minutes from my house, the house I'm in right now, and they recorded some of the biggest and like seminal records for like the early 2000s, late 90s, like metalcore, and so it was like we were around that scene growing up.
Yeah. Yeah, like Kill Switch Engage, All That Remains, Shadows Fall, Acacia Strain are all from our area. They're all Western Mass based bands.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's
that like early 2000s metalcore was like a big thing that blew up in the area. But yeah, they're all locals.
Yeah, was that Zing? Was that Zing Studio?
Zing, yep, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why I interned after college. Yep.
Oh, did you? Yeah, they did like
yep.
so many of those early like metalcore records, that a lot of that came out of there. So
yeah,
I was kind of in on that. Yeah.
So
no, go for it.
I want to talk about the sound of Power Up, because I don't know if you guys, so whoever was on the social media that got our clips and shared them, I guess is what you call it. Because I was like, listen, I'm not I'm not a ska punk band or a ska punk fan really, and for not like, I have nothing against the genre. I have like a lot of people just kind of make the same sound, but there are bands out there that make different sounds, and you guys are one of them. And I think one of my quotes was like, "This band is angrier than me," and I love that. Like, it's like, well, like you guys definitely have this this some kind of like hardcore kind of element to you, right? And like, I mean, lyrically, you can go and and listen to the songs, and you're going to hear that politically driven, punk and punk hardcore in there as well, right? So, like did you guys, when the band came to be, was this something that kind of just happened gradually, or did you guys have an idea of how you were going to approach like the sound of the band?
That's a tough one. So I wasn't in the band for like their early writing stuff. But Jeff, maybe you could,
So I remember the first time getting together with Gary, who's now I guess retired bass player from Power Up. But yeah, he came over one day and he just had like the first riff for like Karate Chunk, and Gary, Aaron, and Justin had this band called Mark's Revolution back in their college days, and I played with them like for a summer, played drums with them. And it was the same thing, just like the metal tinge, like ska-core, hardcore stuff. And like I said, like we kind of grew up in, for me personally, like the hardcore scene and the more metal stuff, I kind of gravitated more towards that than the ska scene. I was still listening to it, or like the harder punk stuff. And once like high school hit, I was more into that like harder, angsty, like the angrier sounding songs. And so it wasn't really intentional. I just think that's what is in kind of our DNA as musicians for like this kind of style of music. It's just like write fast, like play fast, and just riff and just again like do what we like, just kind of whatever we're into that's kind of what comes out at that time.
And I'm happy you said like that metal tinge, because I definitely heard it in the album, right? Like it's there, and I'm like, yes. Like it's funny because like I don't know, I guess I'm a lover of all music, always have been, but like when I remember when I was younger, I guess I gravitated more towards like the metal stuff that was going on at the time, and then I got into more punk stuff, and like like in hardcore, you know. So like I've always floated around there, but like I love when I can hear that, like the different stuff kind of getting melded together to make a sound. And like, and I think that's like that. And again, I don't have nothing against the genre. It's like there was just like a lot of people tried to emulate one sound, and that's why I didn't like pop punk for a long time. But now, like I feel like there were like rules, and now all the rules have been thrown out the window. And I think right now is such a good time for music because of that. Unfortunately, it's a terrible time for music because of shit like streaming and Spotify and like not getting paid properly. And you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know, some people like say that the market's oversaturated, but like, I don't care. Like, if you're an artist, like do your thing, right? Create your art. You know, I don't care. Like, if I'll find it eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just put something out, like, I don't think it's maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's taking away from anyone out there who's putting out their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to find what they want to find. And one of the biggest problems I've always had with people is when they're like, oh, there's no good music anymore. And I'm like, you're just being lazy. There's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, I will find you, like, who's your favorite band? They'd be like, oh, well, you know, I really like Led Zeppelin. I'm like, I will find you a band that doesn't sound like them, but like it fits that world, right? And you will love them. And like I get like a kick out of doing that. You know what I'm saying? So like, but yeah, so like with Power Up, when I started hearing it, I didn't know what I was walking into. And then like, I'm like, this is good. And then I heard the horns and I was like, wait a second, you know what I mean? So, but it's like a running gag, like with me with like ska and horns and stuff. Cause I'm always like, I remember the first time I heard, what was that band's name? Oh man, my buddy Benny's band from Michigan. I can't remember their name. Anyway, when the Boy Detective, the first time I heard them, and like I didn't even register that it was like it was a ska punk thing. And then when everyone in the show was talking about it, I'm like, why is it ska punk? Because there's a horn. I was like, does that mean Paul Simon ska? I'm like, he does calypso beats. You know what I mean? Like I was.
Yeah, like Chicago or Earth, Wind, Fire's a ska band, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So like so like that, you know, again, that, you know, it's the running gag, right? But at the end of the day, like I just like to hear new things, and I like to hear good things, and like what you guys are putting out there is a fucking awesome product, and I totally appreciate it, and I love it. I love the aggressiveness to the band, where you can also kind of kick back and have fun with it too. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so like you guys have to me, I personally feel like you guys have a very unique sound. And I think that, you know, like the fact that you guys have sold so many records, like I think that lends its hand to that, right? Like I think people are hearing this and being like, there's nothing like this, you know?
I certainly hope so. Cause like, yeah, I don't even know what we're doing half the time.
Yeah. And I think that's,
right?
I like that. Yeah, we're having fun, and I don't know either, but we like it. So,
yeah, we were joking this past weekend. That's like Power Up is what happens when your intrusive thoughts win, where you're just like, you know, what if we stuck 12% ska into a hardcore punk band like this? This is what happens.
And to a segue into that, which is what I was going to mention. Like people are like, oh, Power Up's a ska band. I'm like, are we though? Because you know, like you were saying, there's horns, so automatically you're a ska band,
right?
So I went through Just Devils. Like
Jeff's done the math.
True story. I did the math on it. Like, you know, I had a stopwatch on my phone, and I'm like timing these ska parts, and we have 12% ska on the record. So I don't know. I guess that's a ska band. It's 12%. So
that's all. Do you work with numbers like as like a living? Like
no.
You just really needed to figure this out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll prove that we aren't.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But like, you know, if and maybe whoever, like the way, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong too with this, right? But I feel like big ska heads, like they don't want anything else but that. So when they find something new, maybe they need something to kind of be like, oh no, this is it too. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think
you're right. I think that goes for any genre though. Like people want to hear like they like what they like, and they kind of want to stick in the constraints of that.
Yeah.
And it takes a little while before, you know, those weird crossovers of genres really get acceptance. You know, it might not take the first or second wave of, you know, whatever that melding of genres is before somebody, you know, does it to a point where it's like, okay, this actually works now, you know.
Yeah, it was funny when we played with Planet Smashers in New Hampshire in the spring, right, in April, and their drummer. I one of my greatest compliments or that we received after we played. He was like, "Oh, I thought I was going to see a ska band," and we're like, "Oh, thank you." But yeah, it's fun like that, you know, because people don't know what to expect, and I like that, and you know, I like when bands grow too. So you know, people that are putting out different records and kind of blend genres and do different things because you know I know we're still talking about Just Devils, but going forward, like we're gonna try to not do a Just Devils part 2. You know, try to like growth. Like I like bands that don't release the same album, like just cookie cutter, you know, thrash metal with horns. Like, you know, it's awesome, but you know, try to just grow and progress as musicians and as
It's gonna get
bands. So
weird.
it's gonna get
It's
weird.
gonna get weird.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, man. Weird is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I love weird, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
I remember making CDs back in like, you know, like the late 90s and stuff, and it would be like you would hear like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna throw a name like Anthrax, and then you know Megadeth, and then you would hear like the Wu-Tang Clan, right? Like,
Yep.
Well, yeah.
and then you might hear some like you know Al Green after that. Like that was
Best.
the beauty of it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
I
how
mean,
you
that's
feel as a person who listens to it too, you know. So
we had a running playlist on the way down to Fest, and that's what that was. It was
Yeah. It was
everything.
awesome.
Yeah. We're all pretty open minded when it comes to music. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
I thought I took the cake. You know, this year's like Spotify Wrap tells you how old you are, and I was 64 on the Wrap, and then Brian,
I was
I
like
was like,
76.
I
Yeah.
don't
my
even
music's
have
like,
Spotify anymore. Like I just like
yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
it's just
know.
funny. It like tells you how old you are. So
yeah.
I'm just
So yeah,
old.
it's so like I use just Bandcamp really. Like I buy stuff and like you know. But here the thing is though, like I like I'd like to say that I stopped using Spotify as like a moral thing, but I fucking hated the quality of the songs. Like it's just like a lot of them just didn't sound great on there. But you would go and listen to it like you know on Bandcamp and it sounds 10 times better. So that's I don't know. That's just my own personal thing.
Yeah, I'm a begrudging Spotify user, unfortunately. Like,
Same. Yeah.
because I use it for work because like a lot of the times I'll be doing a gig and I need to play some. They're like, hey, we need some background music for this, you know, XYZ, you know, like a corporate event where it's like, hey, we have a speaker coming in. Can you play some like, you know, top 40 music right now? And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna have that on my laptop, but Spotify's an easy way to like find a playlist and just hit it and set it in the background. So, like I
Yeah,
said,
I don't knock anybody, right? I don't
yeah.
knock anybody for using
I mean,
it.
I'm knocking myself. Like I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know, I get all the gripes with it, but
Yeah. Like you know, I don't think I don't like hold it against anybody for using it or putting their music on there. I don't. I just like, you know, and then when people like at some point it's like, all right, man, like we know we're in a really fucking shitty situation over here right now, right? And we have been for a long time, right? But like you can't you can't just be blasting every fucking buddy who doesn't do that thing, right? Like it's
yeah.
I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, if you're using Spotify, you're not the worst person in the fucking world right now, you know?
And as an artist, you have to put your music where people are. Like
You got to. Like
you
this is the
gotta do
only
it.
way you're gonna get found, you know? Like and I commend people who don't go that route, but like, you know, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I know where your music is and I like it and I listen to it. You know what I mean? And I'll share it with people, but like, you know, if you're gonna bitch if the next thing if you make a post about bitching about that and then the next post is bitching because no one's listening to your music, like you kind of put yourself in that pickle, right? So
Yeah. And I mean, like going back to our previous conversation where you were talking about like bands not getting paid. Yeah, streaming, it's just, but on the flip side of that, it's accessibility. So whether it be Bandcamp or Spotify or whatever, you know, iTunes, the accessibility for young bands or even us, you know, like people in our 30s or teenagers trying to get their foot in the door, finding new music. And there's so much out there, which is great to just, go down that rabbit hole. I'll do it. Like, that's my tomorrow morning, is Friday mornings, just going down the rabbit hole, listening to music. That's what I do every Friday morning. Just new bands, new music, and just dive headfirst into that.
I try to listen to something new. It used to be every day, but like it's, right now I'm just like, I'll be honest, like I'm a big Christmas music fan, right? So, but I have my favorites. Like I have like some artists out here like that put out like they're like a Christmas compilation with a bunch of bands and they're not quite Christmas songs. So I'll listen to that too, right? But like but like I try to listen to things new all the time, and I'm trying to give things like, like it's just I've fallen into I think we all have, right? Like we get with our we need like our comfort music, and sometimes you get stuck on that, right? I think Off With Their Heads was my Spotify wrap up for like 3 years in a row, and I'm like, all right, dude, you need to quit being so depressed. Like we got to change this a little bit, So, so like I get it, and it's cool, but like yeah, I mean, I remember not to say oh I'm an old man, but like you found a band on the radio, and then you would have to go spend the $10 you got for delivering newspapers on the tape, and then you find out that's the only song that sounds like that band. Like you know what I mean? There's that one song, and like, but now we're in an instant gratification world. We want we want everything at our fingertips at all times, and and that's just the way we are, and that's how people are going to consume music. And I mean, I know at one point there was like on XM radio or whatever, Sirius XM, like there was a TikTok channel where it was just playing the hooks for songs that were on TikTok. Like it's just hook after hook after hook. And, yeah,
it's like a 10-year-old with an iPod.
Yeah,
just fast forwarding. They hear the 10 seconds of song they want.
Yeah. They only like that one part of Baby Shark, right? Like,
we don't need a bridge or a second chorus. Like, yeah,
it's too much. Cut out, trim it, get
rid of it.
And like,
get rid of it.
I remember I had found this hip hop artist I like. This was probably almost 10 years ago now. But like, I'm like, how come this dude has no album? Like, he had 5 awesome singles. And then he put out like one more single, and then he dropped like a 10 track album with those 6 singles on it. And I was like, oh, that's how it's done now.
That's what I mean? That's the release strategy these days. Is drop a bunch of singles before the album. Do music, like I think music videos have become such a big component of the album release cycle that like you lead up with the singles and the music videos and get the attention that way, and then you build up the hype for the album. Like that's
interesting, because I feel like 5 years ago I was talking and I was like, I don't get the music video. Like, why waste your money on that where you can do other things with it? But that makes sense though, because it's
everything these days. Yeah, like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram Reels are such a big part of music. Like even like me personally, like a lot of the new music I discover is through YouTube. Not necessarily music videos, but like I like to watch a lot of like live band footage. Like if I see a live a live performance from a band that blows me away, I'm like, all right, I'm into this. Let me go check out the record now. So
yeah, like how many bands I've discovered just from like Hate 5-6.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
it's like, oh my gosh, like so many good bands out there.
And Lawn Chair Youth, they do the playthrough videos with the white. It's all black and white, and it's the white background. Like they've been getting killer bands on that channel that I've been like obsessed with lately.
That's cool.
So,
that's cool. Yeah, it makes sense though. It makes sense because again, I think I'm just an old man, and like YouTube is huge, right? YouTube is like we started doing video this year because of YouTube, like right, and like you're not there, you're not, so that makes sense. That makes sense. So, but it's not like so. I guess at one point I'm like the MTV era, right? I guess YouTube is just the new generation of what that was, because after a while MTV stopped playing music videos, right? Like they stopped playing music at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, now it's just reality TV. Like what happened to, seeing like music videos and, I remember like it would be like that mixtape, right? That I made. Like it would be like, you would see like, like Michael Bolin, and then it would be like Ugly Kid Joe right after.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like radio stuff. They used to be a local college close to my house, and we could only access it. Gary, I'm talking a lot about the ex bass player, but love you, Gary. But we would just drive around in his car. He had the license before me, and we had like a spot where we could get that radio station. And that was the first time I heard Avenged Sevenfold, and it was Second Heartbeat. And I was like, oh man, this is like punk, but it's metal. And this was, I don't know, like early 2000s. And then come to find out they were playing at like a skate park really close to where we were. And now they're huge, and then you go to like that show, see the opening bands. And I just like Brian, like seeing a live band. And because you can mess with a record in the studio. I mean, Brian can talk about that forever. But like, to translate it into something live, that's special. And that's like, shows are home for me, going to shows and just the community and just being together. It's just the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had like I didn't go to shows probably because I worked in bars for a long time, so like that was like all right, I'm seeing this band tonight because I'm working or whatever, so like but like it was probably almost like 10 years, and then I started going to shows again. It was after it was after COVID where I was like, now I want to go to a show and I can't, right? So yeah, I started going to shows like a lot more, and like and you're right, it's like it's like going to meet up with old friends and stuff now. It's like it's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, we see, we run into people all the time, or me personally, and I'm like, oh man, like I haven't seen you since high school graduation. Like that's cool. That's cool and special. And, just running into people is just so fun to, be like, oh, I didn't even know you were into this stuff. Like, I wish we talked more in high school. Like I was just like a hermit, just playing drums in my parents' basement. And, it's like, oh, maybe if I was more social in high school, I would have known that. But hey, here we are now as adults, even better. So
yeah, that's it's great. It's cool. I like that stuff, man. When that happens, like there's been a few people I've reconnected with from like way back, and it's like this is pretty rad. Like it's what I mean. That's like so. But yeah. So I guess like I want to ask now, like what's the because you guys, we're all adults, right? And like you guys have to work, and I don't know if any of you guys have families or whatever, but like how like is it difficult to kind of schedule shows or because there's so many of you, you know what I mean? Like
yes.
And like practice and everything. Like is it hard to get room? And I mean, luckily nowadays you can really like kind of just you could do that remotely if you had to, right? Like you just kind of like send the file and then someone else works their part or whatever. But
that's how a lot of Just Devils was recorded. Like Jeff recorded a lot of the guitar parts at his place, or at your work.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then basically like we would just record stuff. We all had copies of Logic and would have a working project file. We'd all do our own parts, and we finished off the vocals and horns at my studio. But yeah, like a lot of it was kind of pieced together over a long period of time. So like I think that's the way you kind of have to work these days, just to work around people's schedules in real life. Because the old days, everybody takes 2 weeks off from work and locks themselves in a studio and bangs out all their parts. And I just don't think that's like feasible, especially now that we're all in our mid to late 30s. It's like
we love to do that,
happen.
like just do that, but it's almost impossible. And to that point, like in the writing phase now, RJ, he's our new bass player. We'll talk about the new bass player. So I was talking to him, just kind of getting to know him, and he uses Logic, and he plays, or it is his band called Circlebrook. Check that band out. They're it's RJ.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. If you like crazy shit, like Circlebrook, yeah. Incredible musician, and we're very lucky that he committed, and we're looking forward to it. But yeah, he has Logic too. And I'm like, hey, how do you record? And so Brian Beck's the Barry sax player in our band, they're in New Jersey, so then we can just kind of share files. So like there's a core number of us that will try to get together weekly still. It's been a little bit of a break, but now that we're kind of in the next phase, now that we have a new bass player and kind of working towards the next thing, Yeah, we're gonna try and do weekly practices, but yeah, for us, like booking shows, it's like, hey, are you available in 6 months? Because that's kind of like like what we need to do, just to.
Yeah. And I'll take some of the blame for the show unavailability at this point. Like, I've got a pretty demanding job through the summer, which takes up a lot. I do live sound for festivals and concerts and shit, so a lot of weekends get eaten up through the summer. But I try to at least block out one or two for a festival for us to play or a big show here and there. But
Yeah, we'll usually
yeah,
get some of that. So like summertime, it's like, we'll know pretty far in advance, or it's one of those like a bucket list band. If we get to open for someone, it's like, all right, we got to make this happen.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
without question. So
Yeah, Brian, do you work on the sound for the band stuff too, or?
yeah, I did the mixing for Just Devils. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you like doing it? Is it like you just haven't, like, you can't let thing, like, you need, like, because so for me, when I work on stuff, right, like sometimes it's like this is for the love of the project and I love that, right? And then the other times I'm like, I just can't not have my hands in it, right?
There's a little bit of both on that end. I mean, so like I had a recording studio, like a professional recording studio for 7 years. And before that I was doing the basement recording studio thing. Um, all the while also doing live sound through all that. Um, yeah, so I ended up shutting the studio down a couple years ago, but I'm working out of another space whenever I have time. But yeah, no, I like doing. I've always been a big into audio and recording and mixing and editing and all that stuff. So yeah, no, I genuinely enjoy doing it, but there's also a little bit of control freak in me that's like, let let me mix this. I know how it needs to sound, and if somebody else mixes it, I know I'm gonna be like, do I how do I fix this? Can I just do it? Like, so there's a little bit of that side of it too, where it's a little bit of artistic control, I guess.
in a way, I mean, to Brian's credit, super open minded, and like, if we have suggestions about, sounds or whatever on the album, and even actually, I don't even know if people know this, and I still haven't found them, but Brian, didn't you add like explosions in the album? Kind of, it's like a little Easter
Yeah,
egg
man.
thing. He's like,
Yeah,
oh, by the way, I have like explosions, and we're like, where?
yeah, I love doing like little production techniques, like like I don't think I put a bass drop on the record anywhere, but
No,
there is definitely like an explosion sound in the background just to give it a little bit of like extra like low end energy. I'm
I
trying to
think you did
remember.
it a couple times through. Yeah,
I think it's in Futures, I want to say. But
Mm,
yeah, I'm big into like, production techniques and mixing and all that shit. So
that's
yeah,
cool.
I'll get weird. I'll get weird.
Hell
got
yeah.
to, yeah. If
Yeah,
you're gonna be in
hell yeah.
Power Up,
Yeah.
weird's
But
the criteria. Like that's number one.
yeah.
Right.
But the other side of that too is like, we were also doing a lot of the writing as we were recording. So like even up until like the final stages of like we're recording vocals on, Robber Baron, like the last song on the record. As we were like about to record vocals, we actually rearranged the entire bridge of the song. Like we cut out a couple sections and reworked how it went. Um, so having our hands on that side of the process, kind of doing the editing and mixing and tracking all at once, sort of, um, it was as much of a songwriting decision as anything. It let us make changes up until like the last minute, which, I think these days as a musician, songwriter, engineer, you have to be able to do that. Um, sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
inspiration hits you at the right time, and it's like, oh shit, we can still change these things even up until the very last minute, and then whatever we have to do to make the song the way we want it to. So
Mm, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Is it easier? Is live easier than studio, or vice versa?
Oh man, I I think they both have their benefits and drawbacks. Like there's nothing that compares to being in the room with a bunch of musicians and playing off each other's energy and finding the parts that like lock in well. Like I think that's really important in the beginning of the songwriting process. But then, you're talking about the recording process and the mixing and editing process, the production side of things where, you're putting those finishing touches or that little bit of extra polish on a song. And, that's sometimes what can take a song from like a concept to a like final product, Um, so I think they both, I think there's a place for both of those, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and with Just Devils, I mean, how many songs were on there was an EP that Brian wasn't we did it honestly in GarageBand in my basement. Just to like our thing was just put stuff out there and let's see if we can get some shows. So a lot of that was just very basic GarageBand demo stuff. And then we kind of reworked those songs, and to Brian's credit, he's like, no, we gotta like we gotta put these on the album.
There was some discussion about whether we wanted to re-record the songs from the EP or how much we wanted to rework those songs. I was very adamant that I wanted to do a full re-record of all the songs in the EP and have them on Just Devils because I was like, these songs are fucking awesome. I want like a fully produced mixed version of these. It's like these need to be on the record. So
yeah, and at that time,
I'm glad I got my way.
Yeah, no, I am too. And like that album was written, like I played drums at that time in PWRUP. So it was only really written for one guitar. So then I moved to guitar and enter Brian in the fold. And then like I kind of started not really reworking, but adding like little lead things or like little things to the album.
You added so many, like all the stuff in the disco part of King Kong. Like there's like 7 layers of guitars going on there with all the
yeah. Well, hey, during a pandemic, like
get weird.
That's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna like nitpick everything. And I'm never happy with anything that I write. So it's just sometimes like hence why we have a new song in the works. Gosh, it's been like 2 years in the making. So it's like I can never be satisfied. So at some point it's like, you just gotta kind of part ways with it. And this is good. This is good. Because you can always change stuff and even live, I'll change stuff a little bit here and there. I mean, like Brian, like he was talking about before, like adding fills and just being a drummer in my heart of hearts, being a drummer, like I really tune into Brian. So anytime he does something, like I pick up on it and I'll look at it, I'll be like, I want more of that. Like I need more weird. I need like some crazy drum shit. And that's Brian. Like Brian will do that for sure. And I love it. So super fun.
Awesome. That's awesome. So what's next for you guys? You guys running an album or?
That's the plan. Yeah, we're trying to whatever the follow up to Just Devils is. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, now that we have a like committed bass player, with RJ, which I don't think the rest of us in the band thought we would have a bass player of that caliber, a musician of that, or anybody in mind. Like we were just like, who the heck are we gonna get? Because Gary told us like, I don't know what, 6 months ago, maybe some, or at least me, was like, geez, who are we gonna get? And then like Aaron has worked with RJ before, and we love his like stuff, and he kind of filled in for me when I couldn't make shows last summer, so they kind of knew him already. And we're very lucky and grateful that we got him. So it's going to be awesome to write with him. And yeah, we have like a handful of songs sort of worked out. I write a ton of stuff, so I just throw stuff in Logic just so I don't forget. But yeah, so that's, I think now that we have somebody, we can actually, we're going to take a break from shows for a little while. Because it's either like for us, it's either shows or album. We just don't have the time to really do both.
I think it's for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like it's just like especially like when you got to get up and go to work too. So
yeah.
I think we just want to write as much as humanly possible. Like honestly, like, in a situation where we write like 20 songs and throw out 5 of them, and then another like 5 of those end up on splits, compilations, or
like an
whatever.
EP or like a B-side thing.
Yeah. Like we just want, like we want to get to the point where we have like so much material we don't know what to do with. So I think
Yeah,
that's
because we've
like
been
the
playing
goal.
the crap out of these songs forever,
Yeah.
which I love playing them, but it's just so
Same.
muscle memory now, and
That,
that's the thing. We were playing these songs
you want that challenge again, right? You kind of want to.
for sure, yeah, which is
Yeah.
why we kind of mess around a little bit on stage, but yeah, it's awesome that people are still into it, and that the crowd hasn't gotten bored of the stuff, which we're grateful for our fans and audience and friends and family that show up all the time and just have a
Yeah.
blast playing,
And
which we feed off their energy too.
And I know there's people out there that are hungry for new Power Up songs, and I'm like, yeah, I want to deliver that. Like that's probably my main motivation is like, dude, I want people to experience new Power Up stuff. Like that's
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I need more.
Yeah,
I
me
need
too. I
more
want
of
to
this.
experience it too.
I need more of this aggressiveness. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. Yeah, the times call for it. So the times when we wrote that, it was a crazy time, and I don't know if it's never not been crazy, but here we are again, and that's just gonna fuel like the next album.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. Yeah, you guys have a good product, and you guys are doing good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
So
that.
I'm excited. And I just, and I'm a newer fan, obviously, right? Because I just learned about you guys like a month or so ago, and yeah,
Awesome.
man, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what you guys have next. I hope I can catch a show at some point too. Once you guys are playing.
Where are you out of?
So I'm out by Worcester. I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm in
Yeah.
between Worcester and Providence, basically. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm in a little tiny ass town.
We've done Providence a few times. There's some cool
Sure.
venues out in Providence and in like Worcester and out that way. So
Yeah,
once
yeah.
we get
So
back
I mean,
to
I'm
it,
sure. I mean, in Western Mass isn't that far. I'm not one of those New Englanders who like, oh, I can't go to the next town over. You know what I mean?
gotta stop at Worcester. Those Western Mass people are too weird or crazy. Those
Yeah.
hill folks.
You know,
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, that kind of worked for Just Devils because Brian's studio, I mean, it was in the middle of nowhere. It was incredible.
I
so
was up in
it
Shelburne.
really,
Yeah.
it was in the middle of
You were in
nowhere.
Well, the studio was in Shelburne. Yeah. Like out.
Shelburne. Yeah,
You
I've been
keep-
to Shelburne Falls. Is that the same
Yep.
thing? Or
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, that was
beautiful, and I think that kind of
yeah, there's nothing
helped
there.
with the writing because you'd go outside if you got like frustrated recording or whatever. Just there was like a pond, and it was beautiful. It was an amazing area, and it was awesome.
I didn't have internet in the studio for the first 4 years I was there. That'll tell you how in the middle of nowhere it was.
I remember
Up in the hills.
Plumbing was 50-50.
Plumbing.
Electricity, like, yeah, I mean, it was in it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
in the
yeah.
hills, but that was amazing, and I think that kind of helped with the album too, just to be like secluded from everything except for just nature, and that was awesome.
That's
So-
cool. That's cool. I have a Shelburne Falls story. So
All
I
right.
had a business for a long time where I would like a little logistics business where I would deliver things, and mainly it was like medications, TPN, or like sensitive material, like paperwork and stuff like that. Like people's files for like businesses. So I went to deliver this package of medicine to a house in Shelburne Falls, and I'm like, this place is beautiful, and like they had up on like a little hill the house was, and they had these giant stone steps you had to walk up to get there, and like
I think I know where you're going with this, but keep going.
okay. So I go up there and I deliver it, and I'm going and I'm leaving, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And I heard a noise, and I looked over, and there was this giant snake, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
terrified of snakes, and I was like, I shrieked and took off, and I was like,
Okay.
never coming here again. Like
Not where I thought I was going, but still,
yeah.
that's great.
that.
Dude,
and I lost like cell service while I was there, and then I'm like, I'm gonna fill up just in case something happens. Like,
If
Dude,
that snakes attacked me, I'll have no one will know. They'll never find me.
we had one of the first times I had like been at the studio late. I walk outside and I see some sort of animal like off in the distance, like it dives out of the road and goes down a hill beside the road, and I didn't see it again. I'm like, I have no idea what that animal was. I couldn't get a read on it. I'm like, it was either a small bear or a beaver or something. Porcupine. Found out that we had a porcupine that lived basically outside the studio, and on multiple occasions, I would open the studio door at like 2 a.m, and the fucking porcupine would be sitting right on the steps in front of me, and I'm like, you gotta stop sneaking up on me, dude. And of course, we named the porcupine Beaver, both because one, we didn't know what it was, and two, if you remember Rocco's Modern Life, where the guy would always call Rocco Beaver, even though he's a wallaby. So we thought that was funny. So
A little 90s tribute.
yeah, there were multiple times. Yeah, like there's one time I was about to get in my car and it was dark out, and I almost walked right into the porcupine. Like, no joke, came like a foot from it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get stabbed today, so let's not do that.
No, I'm not. Like, I used to be really bad with snakes. Like, if I saw one in the corner of the yard, I wouldn't go over there until the winter. I'm not mowing over there. I'm not doing nothing. I can just, that's your land for now, So, but yeah. So, but yeah. So, all right.
Western Mass. Yep.
Hopefully, we got a new album in the works. Hopefully in 2026, maybe. Or is that
That's the goal. Yes.
Okay, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Hence why we're taking a break from shows, so we can like really get a grasp on this album and just really hammer it out. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
And hopefully, once you guys are playing shows, I can get my giant ass to one of them, because I just really. I just really need that aggressiveness. Like, and again, it's the time of where we're in that. And like I said, you guys sounded angrier than me, and that's awesome. I can appreciate anger, and I can appreciate frustration that you guys, put out in your artwork. So, so that was cool.
Yeah, trying to put it out in a positive manner.
Hell yeah. You're right.
Instead of like channeling into something destructive, like.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where can people find you guys? Where can they find your music? I know you said you didn't have many records left, but will there be more at some point?
Yeah, I'm sure there will. Like, when we've talked about doing a repressing, but we're also trying to figure out, weigh that between saving up for new record. So we'll see. But you can find us at powerup.band. That's PWRUP.band. We're on every platform you can possibly think of if you look that up. Don't get us confused with an AC/DC album. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, which is, yep. Yeah, we like that. We get, people are like, because AC/DC just did like a power, one of their albums was like Power Up, and be like, oh, you named your band after AC/DC. Sure. And so then people will be like, oh, like it's like AC/DC Power Up Tour. And they're like, oh, you guys are opening for AC/DC? Yep, for sure.
Right.
We'll see you at like Fenway Park.
Buy our record now. Buy our record now.
Yeah, right. I'm spend $500 to see our Ska-core band.
And listen, if anybody listens to this, like, go to their Bandcamp, because they're this is how great these people are. They're giving away their album for free on Bandcamp. So you don't.
We just want people to hear it and listen to it and experience it, and like come to shows and get involved with the scene. It's an awesome scene. It's community. Like, we're all pals, and if we're not, we become pals. So, met a lot of good friends, just even in adult life. Like, how do you make friends? But.
Go to shows. The only way I
go to shows. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'll figure it out. Well, listen, guys, this was great. Thanks for coming on. When there's a new record, you guys more than welcome to come back. I'd love to have you back on and talk about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks for inviting us and having us out.
Of course. And any time, like, you guys want to come back, and we can talk about making mixtapes or whatever, you guys more than welcome. Seriously, the door's always open. that
was my thing back in the day. Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. That would be super fun.
Yeah, it would be awesome. So, all right, well, I thank you guys again, and everyone go listen to Power Up.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you.